to get to church. Lord, I thank you even for the silence that I hear now. For the saints that are on the way. Push from here, Jesus. Thank you. We love you, Lord. Thank you for making people like me. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. That was a good prayer. I'm getting better. Getting more saved. All right. As we normally do, I need you to get into small groups. Yes, I do. But make sure you have people in your groups. It's going to be essential for what we're going to do tonight. You say we know we got something. All right, let's start with. Why are you looking like that? Team, a group of two. All right. Who wants to start off? Who wants to kick off?
We're gonna kick off. Well, to answer who is she talking to? She went and told the Samaritans in the city, and we believe what she said to make them actually pay attention to her is that she and herself was a walking, talking testimony, given that it was already out of the ordinary for Jesus to be talking to a woman. She's a woman that's been through some things and already has a history, a reputation, and that some kind of repentance and turning away and transformation had already taken place in her, for her to feel emboldened enough to even go speak to these men in a time in which women didn't have power, and that her testimony in and of itself spoke to what Jesus spoke of about the kingdom and repenting, and that he was the meat that would reap the harvest.
He was the meat that would reap the harvest? Mm-hmm. He was the meat that would reap the harvest.
He was the meat and she was the harvest.
Oh, he was the meat that reaped the harvest. Okay, all right. All right, cool. Let's go.
I do not fully know if this is correct. However, so what did she say? So it seems as though she's talking to men, everyday people, about a man that she is somewhat perceiving to be everyday people too, but he knows everything about me, so she's like kind of waffling. Is this the Christ? But the thing that we notice is that the woman talks about Christ as if he's an ordinary man who knows other things. And then the disciples also respond to him as if he's an ordinary man because they offer him food. And then he goes on and he says, I have food to eat which you do not know. So this whole, my subhead says white and harvest. So Jesus says that the harvest is 4 months away. So like they're still looking ahead for the reaping of what they sowed, when he in fact is saying the harvest is here now. Like I am here now. You're treating me as if I'm an ordinary man, but I'm trying to tell you that I am in fact the Messiah. Yes.
Okay, dig it.
But, we were saying that maybe, she was talking to her neighbors. Obviously, there were people in the village that kind of knew her. But maybe these were some of the people that she had some dealings with, Maybe these were the people she was sleeping with. So maybe when she said that, it kind of got them a little, if she knows everything about your life, then maybe he knows things about ours too. Like, I don't know, like, did you know about us? So that's one of our conjectures. And obviously we think that when it talks about the fields are ripe for the harvest, he wasn't really talking about, he was talking about people, like it's time.
White people?
People, everybody, like all of you, just everybody, like Samaritans as well, Jews, Samaritans. I know we're not supposed to be, coming together. This doesn't look like what you're used to, but it's time, like, so that,
All right. Anybody else have anything different?
We wasn't done, I'm sorry.
Oh.
One of the other things that was brought up was children. That this whole passage that we read, it was kind of like an underlying thing of people not believing based on the initial message from the woman, but they only believed after they came back and heard from Jesus themselves. And it was a little weird how the passage says that they went back to the woman to say, now we believe everything you said because we've heard from Jesus. But not because you told us, but just because we've heard from us.
We're not going to get credit for this.
There was one other thing. The whole portion about the harvest and all that stuff, I think other people kind of touched on it a little bit, but we also was basically kind of arriving at the point that Jesus was letting the disciples know that usually during the harvest, there's a planting time and then there's a harvesting time and there's time in between. But right now, somebody else has already done the work for you. You just need to work the harvest that's already there.
We were looking at specifically like what she said to him. The things that stuck out were, "Come meet a man, he could be the anointed one, and he told me everything I've done." And even though you told us, so we look at verse 27 through 45, verse 26, Jesus actually said that he was the anointed one. But for whatever reason, whenever she went to either she didn't believe so herself, or maybe because of her reputation, she wasn't necessarily confident to speak that fact. But she just kind of alluded to he could be the anointed one, but Jesus already stated who he was.
Good deal. As far as contextualized that are not in the text, I want you to know. One, when it comes out to the Samaritans, the only scriptures they have are the Torah. So they only believe or only look at the first 5 books of what we consider the Tanakh or their Bible. So that's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, right? So if they only have the first 5 books and that's the only what they gravitate towards, is there any messianic reference in those first 5 books? Not Isaiah. They only have the first 5 books.
Not technically.
Well, technically, the seed of the woman shall bruise the head of the seed of the serpent. No, that's Genesis. That's Genesis 3. So what I'm saying to you is that when you look at if they have a picture of what the Messiah is, or the anointed one is, they would have only got it from the first 5 books.
All right.
Everybody get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they don't have, you can go to Isaiah. I want to say it again. The first 5 books, the Pentateuch, that's the only thing they hold to. That's the only thing they gravitate towards. And the reason that is because that's all they heard that was left. The reason you had Samaritans, the reason you had the schism, let me go through there, is because when the Assyrians came and took all the elites and all the prominent ones, they left all the peasants. So the only people that were left in this area were the poor and the folk that figured, you ain't worth nothing, so we just leave you here. When they left them there, they also then brought in people from other countries. This is what Assyria did. They brought people in from other countries. So guess what you do when you bring a whole bunch of people from other countries and everybody just... Eventually, they start mixing and mingling. And that's how they had mixed blood. And that's why when the Jews got freed and came back from exile, they came back with what is this? Right. So they start looking at a bunch of mixed people and y'all are half-breeds. Y'all are not as good as us. Now watch this. So then you get this whole stigma of a whole people because y'all mixed. And watch this. Y'all poor. So you're beneath us. Watch this. So when you read Ezra and Nehemiah, when they came back to build the temple, these same Samaritans said, hey, can we help you? Nehemiah and y'all remember Sanballat, the one that was harassing? He was actually the Samaritans, like, can we help y'all? And they was like, no, we don't want y'all help. And that's why they start harassing them, because it's kind of like, oh, you know how, yeah, I remember back in school, you got the people to get ostracized, so instead of like just staying to the side because we didn't want to play with you, they start throwing, and that's how a big fight come, all this. Y'all from the streets, y'all know. Anyway, so they start harassing, and then they built their own temple. Because they built their own temple on the other mountain. You're not going to play with me. I'll play by myself. So, and watch this. The only thing they remembered through the exile was the Torah, the teachings. So you take that, and now, but this crew has some inkling of what a Messiah is. My question to you, one question. Did Christ do anything? Look at the text, just from what you remember. Did he do anything? No.
We read it.
Right. All right, let me give more clarification. There is, I preach to you, and then there's, I do something, like I do a miracle, I heal you, I set you free.
And what we read, no, he did not do anything.
And what we read, and that's why I want you to be careful as students, go by what you read. What did the text say? Because technically, whatever the text gives you is what the text wants you to know. And because this is the only account that we have of this episode, you got to go by that. It says they listened to him and heard his words. Not what he did. They heard his words. I'm trying to go somewhere with this, y'all. The power of his words. First of all, the power of her words. My question, y'all, was simple. What did she say?
He told me everything about me.
And it's pretty simple because it's repeated twice. So it's almost double your enunciation. Verse 29 and verse 39. 29 says, come see a man who told me all the things that I have done. This is not the Christ, is it? Question mark. Verse 39 says, from that city, very important, from that city. We ain't talking about all the Samaritans, we talking about from that city. Like, if somebody says all of South Carolina, some of y'all be like, well, you talking about Columbia, you talking about Georgetown, you talking about Lexington, you talking about Irma, you talking about Georgetown, you talking about Orangeburg. You talking about Fort Mill? Who live in Fort Mill? You talking about Rock Hill? Like, from that city. Not all the South Carolinians, but from that city. Everybody got the difference. From that city, many believed in him because of what? The word of the woman who what? Quotation marks, what does it say? So somehow, just in her saying, he told me all the things that I have done, resonated with them so. And that's where the potency of the text comes in. Something was so potent in her words. He told me all the things, and let's go further. They then come and listen to him. He didn't heal. It didn't say he did. So if it didn't tell me that, I can't infer that. Now all of a sudden, like, you really must be, watch this, not just a prophet, not just a good orator, not just a good prognosticator, but you must be the Messiah. What's the only reference point they would have for having a unquote Messiah?
Genesis 3?
Well, not just Genesis 3, that's other, but just the Torah, the teachings. Now, let me ask you a question. Did she go to seminary?
No, we don't know.
Did she come to, all right, we don't know that, right? We probably, now you can have some safe conjecture, probably not. She didn't even want to come to the well, let alone go to somebody's school. Did she come to Bible study? I don't know, we don't know. They probably did have some kind of teaching and stuff, so she knew something, because watch this, she knew about, because even she the one that said, well, we know the Messiah's going to come, so she had some level of understanding. I'm going to set y'all up for the real okie doke. she had some level of understanding. But somehow, she was able to walk back into a city. Now watch this. Who did she talk to? That was one of my other questions. Who did she talk to? It says the men.
That's what she's called.
Now, all my real sisters, from what you gather from everything she said, this is only for my real sisters. Is she a passive woman, or is she somebody that got like?
For her to have the boldness to go up to where the men were.
I just need some of my real sisters to be like, yo, she ain't no punk. Because she didn't say please. She said, what? Come and see. Come and see. And this what happened. Watch this. She must got some power, because guess what they did? Okay. Now, all my real dudes in the room. I would say it a little different, but I'm going to keep it real sanitized. All my real brothers. Some chick come telling you, come see a man. I'm going to say it again. Some chick that everybody know a chicken head. I'm sorry. Let me clean it up. Some chick that everybody know got a reputation. How do you know? Me and the crew used to do it. That girl is some girl. Come and says, I'm just giving it, I got to bring it to y'all's contemporary, context, because y'all are sitting here looking like, oh, that's real nice. No, let's bring it, come and says, come see a man. Does that sound right? Does that sound practical? Like all my y'all, I'm with y'all acting real churchy tonight. Come see a man. I don't want to see a man. I am a man. Come see a man. Now, if she had said, come see me, okay. But she's saying, come see a man. And guess what they did? Now, all my guys that watch football, or watch a basketball game, or watch any sports that you're really into, and somebody comes and interrupts and says, hey, can you go start the grill? Can you go to the store? Can you do this? Can you take out trash? The first thing you want to say is, I'm watching the game. I get to it. Somehow she had potency in her message to get them up. Now watch this. Let's be practical. She speaks to men but got the city.
All right.
She speaks to men and gets the city. So how do you get the city? But if you're going to get men, especially men I know these days, you better have the right message if you're going to get me up. And to come see another man. Does that make any sense? Now, setting y'all up for the okie doke. When we talk about what he said about the harvest, read that about the harvest. Who was he talking to?
The disciples.
So he wasn't talking to the Samaritans.
Right. That's right.
Because the Samaritans are on the way. What was he talking about with the disciples? Like, what's the whole? Give me like the behavior purpose. Like, what is he meaning?
I don't need to eat right now. I am the food.
Because they were drinking right.
I think he's preparing them for the people that he knows is going to come back.
It's preparation. If you get caught up in the food, you're going to be like the disciples. You're going to miss the whole message. They knew he was what? What was his physical condition? Not tired. Give me another word. Weary. Because that's what the Bible said. The Bible says, and he was wearied from the journey, right? Now, everybody's ever been like weary. In other words, I'm famished, I'm hungry, I'm hot, and I'm sweaty, and I'm tired. Anybody know what I'm saying? And now watch this. They leave him because they're like, Rev, we're going to take care of you. We're going to go to the store and we're going to come back. All right, y'all go ahead. I'm going to stay right here and rest. And they probably arguing about which shop they're going to go to. You know, you going to get dates or you going to get the olives. You know, like which one you going to get. You know, you getting the shawarma, you know, like what we going to bring back. And then you got to say, then you got to talk to Judas. How much money we got? A little bit for me, a little bit for you. All right, so it's like, and then he comes back. And they look at him talking to her and they're like, bruh. But they don't say nothing. Everybody's got that little shady look like, what's that about? She walks away because she feels real awkward. How many of y'all would walk away if you felt real awkward? The crazy thing is she leaves her what? Now, she probably ain't got that much money. So a water pot though, you probably can go buy another one. You're not just going to leave your water pot unless you might be coming back. So there's different ways to look at the water pot. One, some scholars look at it, she's saying, I'll be back. But when I come back, what am I going to bring back? I'm going to bring back a harvest. You got to be intentional. I left something important. Y'all know y'all go to the place and they say, will you leave your license? Because they want to make sure you come back and bring their stuff back. She left her license. Right, listen. Then turn their ass, Israel. You don't take these headphones, you better bring that. Right. So now, I'm come back. Or, vantage point or perspective two is, maybe the water had already started flowing. So I don't need that anymore because now I got the same thing he has.
Lord have mercy.
Everybody get what I'm saying? Because when the disciples come back, they're like, hey, why don't you eat? Why don't you drink? He's like, I'm good. She leaves her water pot as if to say, I'm good. But I also will be back. Awkward, she leaves, goes, talks to the men, and watch this. While she's talking to the men, the disciples are talking to Jesus. And then, to Maurice's point, he's preparing them for the people that are coming. Because right now, they mind ain't on that. What do you think their mind is on? Now you talk about it. Food. We hungry. You should be hungry. Matter of fact, we've been snacking on the way back. You know. And now, hey, don't you want something? Hey, Gigi, you want some of this? It's real good right here. Right? Now, further, he then starts talking about how many months to harvest?
4.
How many months to harvest?
4.
You sure?
That what it said. There are still 4 months, and then comes the harvest.
Are you sure?
Then they was already time before that.
Y'all keep stopping. What does this text say?
It says, and then come your eyes and look at the fields, for they are already white.
But the fields are already what?
He's saying, do not say there are 4 months.
Do you say?
Do not say. He's asking them a question. You guys say it's 4 months.
It's 4
I'm
months.
saying it's right now.
It's right now. And that's how I'm trying to get y'all perspective. Once again, I'm trying to get y'all to be students. How many months to harvest? Everybody's like 4 months. It says it right here. But what did he say after that? Like you got to read it from a certain angle. Because if you keep thinking natural, you'll miss the spiritual. And when the spiritual comes, you're not ready for it because you're still thinking natural.